GM, everybody, welcome in. Like usual, it's me and Jake talking shit coins here. We're gonna run through different projects and stuff, and probably talk some strategy too, what we've been up to in the last few days, and how we view the markets. Yeah. So as you've all noticed, it all started with Trump last week. Trump basically dropped a stealth launch on his shitcoin, and it completely demolished all the markets. I mean, shitcoins in general went south fast. And I mean, actually, it was funny because it was across the board. It wasn't just shitcoins. It was even the main coins. Everything took a hit except for maybe Bitcoin. Everything really got sucked dry because everybody had FOMO for Trump coin. But anyway, we don't have to cover that too much. You guys all saw what happened. But since then, we've had a bit of a hard time finding a meta that, like finding a foothold and finding a concrete meta again. And people have been grasping at different things. Obviously, we went through the whole like Trump meta where all his kids unofficial coins were running and people made money with those. But that's not a legit meta. It's just something that people do to gamble, and there's no really lasting power there. They dropped the Melania token that made things worse too, an actual official Melania token that made things even worse. But we're starting to kind of find a normal again. Um, AI coins are starting to catch heat because of the money that they decided to throw at the AI infrastructure, and I think they pledged $500 billion to growing AI. So that definitely is moving things along a little bit. But yeah, for a little while, I think we're just going to be looking for a meta. Really, the only thing I see now is AI coming back and a little bit of like other feel good metas like HSM, which is basically a coin that's like UFD, where someone's kid made a drawing and they turned it into a coin and it's catching a little heat. But yeah, I think we're kind of in between metas. Sorry, that was a little long winded. How are you, Jake? What's up? How are you seeing things?
Yeah, obviously we had the Trump stuff, which is a huge deal. We talked about it on Wake and Jake a bit too, but I know we didn't have our show last week. It was actually after our show anyway for shitcoins. But I think just like in general, on that side of things, I think it's really important to note like how many people that are crypto native, like people in the trenches, like made a fuck ton of money on this. Like I literally know at least I don't know 5 or 6 people who made millions. Um, and that's just partially not even like people that I've seen on Twitter. Um, from that coin itself. So that's a lot of money. That can obviously is going to likely be reused. I would say a big portion of it back into the market, just because if they're degens, they're in the trenches, like they're very likely to continue to spend that, and we saw that quite a bit with a lot of other coins running. As well, like all these random Trump ones, like the Baron, official Baron, who really knows coin went to like 400 million in like a day or something like that. So there's a lot of crazy money being thrown around. Volume obviously spiked quite a bit. It was like legit. It seemed like it was like 10x higher post the Trump situation after a day or so when it moved up quite a bit and it stopped sucking so much liquidity from everything else. Um, yeah, I think it's just important to kind of recognize how, like, try and think of like next steps when these big events happen. And in that case, it seemed pretty clear right away that we're going to have quite a bit of action in the trenches. There's obviously been quite a bit of rugs, but that's it's kind of par for the course as well. Um, but yeah, like you said, Jinzo, I thought it was really a really good point on the Trump meta. Like it's good to recognize that stuff like that is so short term. Whereas stuff that's been around quite a bit longer, like the AI stuff, and we've talked about quite a bit how it's not just like a temporary meta. Like AI is here to stay for quite a while. So it was good to see a return after a few days of crazy degenning on just random Trump stuff that people focused back on these AI projects. And the 500 billion investment certainly sparked it. I would say like kind of like lit a match a bit, but to me it was pretty inevitable that was going to happen. That money would flow back to these high quality projects that are actually like delivering products that like could be pretty widespread used. Stuff like Arc has been doing really well. The AI I can't remember exactly what the initials are for it. Obviously AI XBT, but also like the AGI XBT or something like that. doing really well too. So Buzz as well, MBHQ favorite. So good to see a lot of money returning to quality, which I think is important to look to. Sorry, excuse me. Important to watch those kind of things when there is a big liquidity suck type event like the Trump token was. I'm sure there will be more in the future, as there has been in the past. So I think there's some good things that we can learn from that whole happenings of events.
Yeah, I agree, and I actually take my hat off to the guys in MVHQ. It's the first thing they noticed for for a lot of them it was, oh, nice, everything's getting sucked dry. Let me go look at coins that I like for when it's time to buy, right? And I think we did well on there. Like a lot of us noticed that it's just going to be a quick flash, and everything is going to die, and then there's opportunity around there for projects that are concrete that we've been dying to get discounts on, and a lot of people acted on that. I think that was the most important thing because sure, Trump is something you didn't want to miss, and you could write that up and you know what I mean? But at one point, if your bags are already too low, you're not going to liquidate at bottom to buy that. You're looking for other opportunities. And I'm glad that some people noticed that because I know I did. I was buying, I kept myself a nice chunk for the Trump meta and I played it, made a killing on that. But I also bought like a lot of stuff at bottom. You know what I mean? I looked at Buzz. Buzz was dead. So many coins were completely destroyed. So I went shopping. You know, I aped smaller into those than I did in the Trump because Trump was just such a good opportunity. But yeah, I mean, it was the right time to place yourself and just to hold on tight and wait for better days because we knew it was going to be a mess and choppy and we didn't know how long it was going to last. But we knew that eventually people were going to rotate back. So that was a very good play by a lot of us in here. It was fun to see
Mhm.
that. Yeah, that we took advantage of it. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Experience.
yeah, really great to see all the big wins on the Trump stuff. That was really cool. I think it's been quite a while since like so many people won so big. I mean, that was like massive for I'd say like a lot of people who have been grinding the trenches for quite a while. So that was really cool to see. Um, hopefully people are still doing well with it and didn't gamble in too many rugs. Um, but I think one like kind of specific point on that is that I think is important to like try and keep in mind when there is these big liquidity suck coins that drop is like your current bags, like if they seem like they're likely, if they're not like a huge cap type thing, if they seem likely that they're going to have the liquidity suck, like people are going to sell off a bunch of it for like if your current coin is like what is like the hot coin especially, and then or like part of the hot meta, and then like a new one drops and like that's now the new hot thing, and it's like a very clear big liquidity suck, but you're still bullish on your current coin. I think it makes sense to like kind of rip the band-aid off sometimes, and this is not exactly for the faint of heart. I feel like it's probably like more of an experience play, but like selling off, right? Selling off, you take even if it's for a loss, like selling off quick into that liquidity suck, and maybe you're not buying the main coin, but waiting for other people to sell off as well, and trying to get it at a lower price. Like just basically think about it as like increasing your token amount of that or your percentage held of that specific token. Even if you are taking a loss at the time, um, in the long run, you can actually increase the amount of supply that you have. So I think that's one interesting strategy that I think is uncomfortable to do because you don't want to like sell while it's already going down. But if it seems like you're rather early to the news, and it seems like this is for sure catching on. People are going to be selling more and more, like how the Trump situation was. Like it seemed pretty obvious that liquidity was going to get sucked from a ton of big coins, and they were gonna dump quite a bit. Um, quickly selling off yours, and you don't even have to buy the main runner if you don't believe in the main runner. Just wait for a little bit lower and just re-enter.
Yeah, the important thing there is, like you said, you have to be early to it because sometimes these crashes are just so fast that you're selling bottoms and then you're actually
Yeah,
taking a bit of an
yeah,
L. If you're not early, don't do it. Like the one thing I'd
yeah,
add
for
on
sure.
to that is really in these situations, everybody panics and you're gonna probably panic too, just because it's general panic everywhere and you start feeling those emotions too. But I'd say like take it easy, take a breath. If you missed the sell off, too bad. Just sit back and try to strategize because people are irrational in these moments. And even I caught myself doing that. And I have all the experience in the world. And even I caught myself trying to sell Trump to buy lower and then I'd have to buy a little higher. Like I was a little late to things. And in reality, the best play is just sometimes do nothing, sit back, take a breath, like think through it properly, and try to outsmart and outplay people with your brain, because you're just too, you can't just be reactionary sometimes in this market. If you're not early enough, just take your time and plan out your next move. You have time. It just doesn't feel like you have time in the moment, but you really do. Like, I mean, if you did miss selling out quick and buying low, that's always a really good option. But if you did miss, just sit back and think through it and try to find the right play. There's so many plays in those moments that you don't need to chase, and you don't need to run after the first play that you saw. So yeah, that's probably what I'd say, and that's something I learned too. And like something with like Trump is not just a 1 day event; it's going to be a multi-day event, because it's so big and it takes so much money, and there's just so much circulation going on. So yeah, you have time. You just need to sit back and think through it a little bit.
Yeah, great call. Yeah, the point that I made was is definitely a big part of that is if you're early to the information. If you're not, it's already dumped a bunch. Then I think usually best to just sit on your hands. You believe the long term vision.
And I think the patience aspect of it comes into play not only with the initial run or whatever. It's really the following days, because I see a lot of people. The one mistake I've been seeing a lot the last few days is everybody's running and chasing and trying to force some metas and trying to make money on everything that's coming out. In reality, 90% of people are just going to lose in an instant like that, because they're chasing things that have no substance to them, like we said for the Trump meta, right? Same thing
Yep.
now. They're trying to force metas. It's like, take it easy. You don't have to. Things are gonna heat up again, and things are gonna get obvious again to you. You don't have to chase everything and just risk big money on a mass rotation play. Like, there's so much money being rotated right now. I've been very like, I've been playing certain things, yes, but I've been very careful what I play. I'm seeing people, like, people lose soul every day on things that I don't even understand why we're playing them. There's no real backbone to it. There's nothing really substantial to it. So really, just take your time. I think that's the biggest thing to take away from what we saw in the last few days, is take your time with everything. You have multiple weeks to make money. You have a bunch of time to make money. You don't need to rush on to every coin you see. Just really, like, try to pick the good ones, and those are the ones you play. Try to do a little research, especially now where we don't know where things are going. Like, we kind of do know where we're going. It's going back to AI and stuff, but there's no clear meta right now. So I would just that again, like I said 50 times in the last 10 minutes, just take your time.
Yeah. Yep. And also, by the way, this is open conversation too for anyone who wants to join in, has any thoughts. Feel free to definitely. We'd love it to get more community involvement and discussion as well on this, or any of the topics that we're gonna go through.
In that case, what's up, boys and girls?
Yo,
What's up,
It
Block?
is Block Daddy. Yo,
Block
so
Daddy.
I just made my first Padre wallet, and I wanted to ask you guys what your thoughts are on the copy trading feature and how you feel about people copy trading you.
I think it's dangerous, so you got to be very careful. If you're gonna do it, go slow and go low. Don't go too high, because most people are gonna get wrecked. You also have to be very careful who you're copy trading. Most people know that they have copy traders on them, and they're doing it on purpose to just flip anything under the sun and dump on your head, right? So I'd say if you're gonna do it, test it out. Use it as an experimental feature, and ape very low amounts and see where they take you. I'd say 99% are going to be losses. So yeah, you have to kind of get lucky too, and you have to have a good you have to pick the right people.
Cool. Jake?
Yeah, I honestly don't copy trade, so I can't really give a lot of insight there. It's just not really my like trading style personally. For that, but I would say definitely similar to what Jinzo said. To start slow if you're going to do it, and I think it's one of those things where it probably takes quite a while to like develop a system, develop certain wallets that are consistently hit quite well. I think there's a couple of people in here who do it. If you want to ask more, I know Melon does. I know Swishy does. I'm sure a few others as well. AI might as well.
Easy Snipe
If you want
does,
to ask
and Easy Snipe had some success, so he will help you too for sure.
But yeah, it's just not a strategy
Cool.
I've really rarely ever like invested a bunch of time in personally. So I can't give too much context there.
Gotcha. Because the other day I saw someone, I forget who it was, but said that they just copy trade you, and I wasn't sure if it was a joke or not, but I was just curious how you felt about that.
I
Copy
don't really
trading you,
care.
Jake.
I haven't been trading very well recently, so they're probably not doing well. um, yeah, I mean, I don't care if people copy trade me. I don't actively give out my wallets, but I know people sometimes research them.
I think what you're referring to was mostly just because Jake likes to drop his like deep ideas on coins and stuff in chat, and it's really that it's that he's had a decent success rate on the things he shares in chat. It's not really just copying his wallet. I don't think that's what they meant, but when they said that, it was more of a play on how Jake likes to research projects properly, and he finds like he has a decent hit rate on when it comes to finding projects. Obviously, everybody has losses too, and everybody does fail. So you got to be careful, even when you follow someone like Jake or like Melon or like me in chat. But I think that's more what they were referring to was his research and his rationale when it comes to looking at projects and his hit rate.
Gotcha. And also, I haven't used Photon, but I'm curious your thoughts on Padre versus Photon and which one you think is better and which one's the more popular one.
Well, Photon's definitely the most popular trading at based on like volume and stuff. I like Padre better because it's better. The fees are better, and we get rewards as MBHQ members. So and it's like basically works same as Photon with a couple. There's like a couple features that Padre has that Photon doesn't, and then some features that Photon has that Padre doesn't. I'm pretty sure. I haven't used Photon in like several months now though, so I don't know. These platforms always change, so I couldn't really tell you much about how it works now. But yeah, for personally, I just like I go by EV of the trade, and like if I'd rather not pay higher fees, and I'd rather get rewards for my trading than none. So I go with Padre.
Cool. Thank you, gentlemen.
No problem. I agree too. For me, it's mostly the fees. I like the platform too. It grew on me. There's some things I like that others don't do. Like when you look at your tabs at the top, they're always like keeping you. You can have like 10 different tabs open for Padre, and they will all give you the price of what you're looking at without having to look at the actual chart. Whereas Bullex and I think even Photon, they freeze up after like a couple minutes. So you're thinking that a price is that price, and it's not. You got to actually go in there and then it'll refresh, and then you'll get your price on the actual tab at the top. So that's one of the things I like. But yeah, they're still working on it. There's things I would change too, but they're always very receptive, and everything we bring to them, they've been adding and changing. So yeah, the fees and just the kickbacks for me are the main thing, and obviously because it's a good platform that tracks everything. Like I can check my daily PNL there. There's so many things I can do that I can't do on Bullex, for example. So I really enjoy it.
Gotcha. So you think Padre has the most up-to-date prices?
Not necessarily pricing. I mean just on the tab itself. When you have multiple tabs open and there's information on the actual tab at the top, I think that one's always like accurate and it's always refreshing. So it's always like up to date, real time. Whereas Bullex, for example, after a few seconds or minutes, it'll time out and you won't get instant refreshes on your pricing. You know what I mean?
So wait, what type of information are on these tabs? I'm a noob.
It's the tabs at the top. When you have like multiple pages open on Chrome, for example, and at the top you'll have like the ticker symbol with the number or the dollar sign of the value of the token. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Padre one is always like up to date, whereas other platforms like Bullex, I think it freezes after a few seconds.
Oh, cool. Cool beans.
Yeah, it seems trivial, but for me that's the biggest thing. I used to have like you know what I mean. It's just for me it makes such a big difference.
Nice. Thank you for taking it back to the infrastructure for me.
BD, if you're gonna get involved, like I said earlier, bro, take your time. Don't take big losses. It's important to just take it slow and learn.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
We're in chat. We're always there.
Yeah, good question, BD. Thanks, man.
But yeah, Buzz came back. It came back in a big way. We saw Buzz win another hackathon last week when they released the whole list of winners. So that made it kind of come back up to 100 mil from the 60, 70 mil range that it was at. And with the Trump meta, everything crashed. But I think the good projects are starting to rise up again. We saw ARC come up. We saw AIXBT come up. We saw like all the big ones that were already pretty good before the whole Trump thing. Well, they just came back stronger. So it's been fun to see. Um, I know that a lot of people are still in, like, they still hate the AI meta. They still kind of stay away from it. But I'd say, man, even if you don't understand it completely, it's good to get involved. At least try to learn, because it's not going anywhere. It's just like when we did NFTs, or when you know what I mean? Like when we did other metas that were important before, but mostly NFTs, and like even DeFi when that was around. It's just a new thing, and it's going to be around for a long time. They're injecting so much money into it. It's not one thing you want to avoid. I think everybody needs a little bit of exposure, whether you understand it or not. At least make a little bit of an effort. I know it's hard. I know even I have a hard time with it sometimes, and I mean it's so technical, and you don't know what's good, what's not. But you can lean on a lot of people in the space, and there's a lot of tricks you can do to kind of get a good feel for a project, even if you don't know everything about it. But yeah, I would say kind of hard to ignore right now, and you shouldn't ignore it. Like for a little while there, I understand people like they just saw it as chatbots and stuff, but it's been evolving a lot, and there's just so much more coming that you can't look at this iteration of AI. You got to look at what's coming in the future, and the way that it's developed in the last few months. Even when you just look at images, how they used to look and what they look like now, or videos, how much they've evolved when it comes to AI videos, sounds, anything you could think of that's AI has gone up exponentially just in a few short months. So think of what's coming in the next few short months. It's going to be huge, and even if you don't fully understand it, you should get involved. You should at least make an effort.
What do y'all see as the main value proposition of the agent coins? Do you see it as just kind of like a meme coin, like attention competition, or is there some type of utility that you think can drive value to their coins?
For the agents, well, the agents are going to be very vast. It's not just a chatbot. When you talk about chatbots, I find them annoying. I always saw them as the next like Twitter bots that are going to be spamming your mentions nonstop, and your replies. It's like you're always, now anytime you go to someone's post, you just see like 15, 20 freaking AI agents just talking and saying bullshit. Like, I don't like that part of it. I think it's spammy for nothing, and that's how I always looked at it from the beginning. But there's a lot of other ones that actually provide value, and they dig through the chain and stuff to to find value, and to give you information on coins, and what projects are releasing what, and they keep a close eye. And those are just going to get better. I know a lot of them have been contradictory, and they say they talk from both sides of their mouth and stuff, but I think they're getting a little bit better at identifying, and they're just gonna keep improving. So I've been keeping a close eye on them, like AIXBT, for example, and there's an NFT XBT. There's a bunch of different ones, but yeah, I mean that side of it I don't mind so much. And then when you're talking about the technology behind it that launches these, and like evolves these, and the companies behind those, I think those also are worth considering, because I like the infrastructure plays more than the actual bots, because eventually a bot becomes obsolete. Even if you have updates and stuff to it, it's still going to be eventually obsolete. So I think that the technology behind is a safer play, because they're always going to be releasing new stuff and new agents and more advanced agents, and I think those usually are the better plays, personally.
Gotcha. So something like AIXBT, it's like kind of like a influencer. It's like the top influencer right now, maybe, and it has a coin. And does that coin have utility, or is it
Yeah,
just a meme coin?
no, when you own the coin, you can get in on the platform that they have, and you're able to see a lot of the stuff that it's digging through before it even tweets it out. And it obviously doesn't share all the information that's on there. It picks, so you actually get even more information on the research it does, and how it digs through and stuff. So it's actually worth it. I just don't know exactly how it works, because I never bought enough of it to use the platform.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I feel like the utility for these coins can be vast and endless, like you said, and it's kind of like in my head weighing between like the mimetic nature of it versus the utility of it, like which one is more important. And probably right now it's mimetic and like what can get the most attention.
For sure, attention and mind share is always very important. So that's something that we usually look at when choosing, what's doing well. But a lot of the times you're trying to front run that. Maybe it's not the top one that you're looking at. Maybe it's the ones that are trying to creep up to it and trying to steal mind share from the top. So you have to, be good at identifying trends too. And yeah, good projects are hard to find, but you need to do a little bit of digging. And I think with AI, it gets even more complicated because we've been seeing a lot of like social engineering and people stealing GitHubs and cloning and spoofing GitHubs and making it look like they have a good project when it's actually trash. So yeah, it's been a little bit tough, but I mean, there's a lot of money to be made. And then you have to also consider the whole war between virtuals and Solana right now for mindshare. Also, virtuals was doing amazing. They looked like they were the front runners, and then this whole Trump thing happened, and Solana went to the moon. And then now all the Solana agents are actually taking a lot of that mind shares. So I think it's going to rebalance a little bit again because there is a lot of value in virtuals. But yeah, it's been a little bit of an odd one now. There's definitely PvP going on. But yeah, regarding AI agents, if anybody wants to come up and talk about them and knows more about me, go ahead. We're all ears. I would love to learn more too. Jake, are you still looking at AI agents, or what have you been up to lately?
Yeah, I kind of just been open to anything. I would say nothing specific. Still really big on AI stuff and looking out for more. Kind of as you said, kind of at the beginning of the show. It seems like we're in between, like kind of looking for something new right now in terms of metas after the political stuff and AI is starting to take over back again. But there's been some other runners as well, like the that I forgot what it's called, the mermaid one, with a little girl on the
HSM.
coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, MSM or HSM or whatever. Um,
I forgot the
so
name.
yeah, I mean, I'm just open to whatever right now. Just
Hard
looking at
Sparkle
what
Mermaid.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking at it too.
Um,
What do you like about it? What do you have you been digging into it, or it was just like is this because it's a feel good project and it looks like UFD? What do you like?
no, I mean, I didn't say about it. I was just saying, I was just giving an example of like projects that are in it. No, I don't have any of that.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
I got a little bit of it, but I'm not too convinced. It's like I think it's good. People are latching onto it, but again, I feel like it's a little bit forced. I think it could do well. Melon's really like big on it. He thinks it could be the next big coin, but I just see it as a UFD beta, and yeah, I guess it's got room to run, but I don't think they're interesting. They're a cool family and stuff, but again, can they keep it going and can this coin take like a lot of the mind share? We'll see. I don't know if it's gonna last very long. We'll see.
Isn't it more like Mira than UFD?
Is it like what is it? What are they trying to do with it? Because I only started watching the streams today. I didn't really. They're not trying to raise money for anything, are they?
I just feel like UFD was so established. Like the guy was a streamer before we decided to tokenize him, and that like legitimized him and like made it easy for that coin to continue to go up. But now it's like I don't agree with Melon's take on this new coin because it's like, what is he gonna dream his daughter for like 5 hours a day for the rest of time? Like, it's kind of weird. I don't know. That's just my take though.
I agree with you. That's how I've been seeing it too. That's why I've been just playing it for scalps and flipping it, and I feel like it's a bit forced. People are looking for a UFD, but it's like you said, UFD was already established. I watched the guy on stream for just a few minutes before, and I was bored until his wife came on with the kids, and then they were like interacting with chat and stuff. That was cool. But again, how long are you gonna do that for? You're not just gonna put your kids in front of camera every day and just pump your token. I mean, it's gonna eventually lose its little shine. So that's just how I see it. I could be wrong. You could be wrong. It could still go places. But event like usually I think like crypto has it like the space gets over things fast and gets bored fast. And if the guy is not entertaining and doesn't already have a channel like the UFD guy, like Ron's just a special guy, right? So I don't know. I don't see it going that far for that long personally either. But hey, crazier things have happened. But yeah, we can move on from that one. I mean, it was just to mention one that's running right now. But yeah, looking for new metas. And just if you're gonna make your money, go in and out, and you rotate into things that you do believe in. But I haven't
yes,
been
sir.
touching. Yeah, I've that's all I've been doing, man. Just going like in and out of coins. aping like my longer plays, adding to my longer plays. I let go of the whole Trump meta. That's done. I just have some of the Trump, but I think I might. I don't know. I've been thinking maybe I'll let that go soon too. Because what are we really hoping for? Another 2x, 3x on it? I don't know. I feel like I don't know if how long they can stretch it for. But then again, it is a presidential coin. What are your thoughts, Jake? Are you still holding it? What are you doing?
No, I'm pretty flat right now on a lot of stuff. I don't have much that I'm holding at the moment. Kind of just waiting, like as I said, for something obvious. I'm trying to play more higher conviction stuff. It feels like a weird time in the market where we're like Trump got elected and everyone's like hoping for something bullish, but then he like did the Melania stuff, and then so like sentiment got hurt quite a bit, and now we're kind of just waiting like for some crypto legislation, I would say, for another spark into the market. So I'm kind of just waiting for that before I go full risk on type mood again. So I'm kind of just playing it safe, just only higher conviction stuff. I think AI stuff is definitely um, a good play because that's stuck around, and as I mean mentioned it a ton of times already, but it's kind of like the steadfast one that I think a lot of people just believe is going to be the future, and if they're actually building real products that can be very useful for a lot of people, for a lot of consumers, a lot of businesses, whatever the product is for. So I think that stuff is probably the most interesting to me right now, and then anything else that might pop up. But I'm kind of just waiting for a bit of a spark, I would say, in the market, and hopefully we get some type of executive order from Trump regarding crypto, as he promised. Several different several different things. So hopefully there's something coming there.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it might not be great.
I think without a doubt, those are coming any minute, hour, day. I personally felt a lot of confirmation from him pardoning Ross because
exactly.
that felt like the first step. Um, so I think that it's got to happen. It's really got to happen.
Exactly what I wanted to mention too. The whole Ross thing happened so fast. He said he was going to do it quick, and a lot of people thought it was bullshit that it would take some time. And boom, like it was instant. It was like the first day. Yeah, get Ross out of jail. What the fuck's he doing there? Kick him out. Let him go. Let him go do things in life. But that was good. That was like a good show of faith, at least, that he wants to. And he I think this kind of went under the radar a little bit. But he also pulled back from the whole Tornado Cash stuff. Isn't Tornado Cash legal again or something? I saw something like that this morning where they pulled out of whatever legal battles they had with them. I have to look it up again, but something similar to that.
That'd be funny if Ross launches a project.
Yeah, he's gonna come out and launch a meme coin on a project. He's gonna be like, "Yeah, here you go, guys." But the Tornado Cash stuff is big too because it kind of backs up on it backs off on the stance they started taking on privatization of the blockchain. So yeah, the privacy of blockchain. So that would be good for us too. You know, that's something we want to see because a lot of people are worried that now that there's, yeah, sure, they're pro crypto, but they're probably going to take it in the direction that they want to. But if they are backing off from the Tornado Cash stuff, they're probably it kind of shows that they're opening it up to interpretation where you do what you want. You know what I mean? Like use the blockchain. That's what we want you to do. Some might even take it as them, getting a bit more lenient on taxes. Again, that's a stretch because they're going to want to make money off everybody with this. But yeah, I mean, it could be interpreted in many different ways. The fact that they backed off on that.
Yeah.
Also, Moonshot, Jake, like that thing, man. Ever since they partnered up with, I guess, Trump to drop the coin, or Trump's team, and it brought in so many new users. It's just there's so many like obviously we saw with the TikTok Meta, new users are not always the best. They kind of make a mess. They make a mess. It's like having a million kids come into a room and just letting them go wild, and you tear everything apart before it gets better. It gets worse. But I mean, at least it's a lot of new users that have ease of access to coins now, just in their pocket with an app. It's really cool to see. I mean, we're growing a lot. We're growing very fast this cycle.
Yeah, great shout. Moonshot got like 500,000 at least users via the Trump thing because they had it linked on Trump's website. Like if you to deposit via debit card. They had a direct link to download the Moonshot app. So they get a ton of users on there. And Moonshot, if you guys don't know, it's just like a iPhone app or whatever, or a smartphone app, and it allows you to just deposit via your bank account or debit card into their own custodial wallet, and you can buy meme coins that are listed on there. You can actually buy any coin if you paste in the address in there, but I would venture most normies don't really know too much about how to do that. So there's some bigger ones. They were a little bit more degen when they first started on what they would list, and now they've tightened it up quite a bit. And there hasn't been anything listed actually since the Trump coin in the last few days. But I think this account that I shared in voice hangout chat called Moonshot Listing, the Twitter account, it'll tweet out. It's a good one to have notifications on for, because it'll tweet out. It's been the fastest so far that I've seen to tweet out when a new coin gets listed on Moonshot. It's not affiliated with them. They kind of just track it. But yeah, I mean, now, especially with that giant increase in users, anything that get new listed on there, I would anticipate like gets quite a pump from that type of thing. So I think it's really good to track that. So I would recommend Moonshot. There was some stuff, especially directly after the Trump, like a day or so later, where like all the top gainers on the Moonshot app and like all the trending ones were like ripping hard, and it was like a bunch of older coins, like the prawn coin and like Manu, if you remember those ones. Like some of the lower cap stuff were going crazy just because there were so many new users on Moonshot, and then obviously degens who saw that they were trending in Moonshot would buy on their wallets too. So I think it's at least interesting to watch. I think they are one of the top, if not the top, app in like for finance right now too. So Moonshot, an important player, I would say, to keep track of, and especially what coins they're listing and what's trending over there.
They also enabled deposits directly from Robinhood to Moonshot, which is something we never thought we'd see. We're seeing like a big crossover between worlds now. Everybody's starting to accept it, right? And yeah, like if you think about it, Robinhood is a moonshot. It's like the Robinhood is the moonshot of the stock market. So it's cool that they're working together to bridge those gaps. Like we saw that Robinhood was trying to become Moonshot basically for a while. They were starting to list coins and making it easy access for a lot of people that had their platform and stuff, but they kind of backed off from that. And now we're seeing them in a way partner with Moonshot to get that done. I don't know what their deal entails or if it's just a deposit, but you'd think that you would think that they wouldn't want to do this. At least last cycle, they would never have done something like this, because then they would have been worried that they're losing their income to the shitcoiners. So it's cool to see that they're starting to bridge that gap. We would have never seen that before.
Yeah, I saw someone speculate, and I thought it was really really good that they would thought it made a lot of sense that Robinhood would buy out Moonshot. I could totally see that happening, especially with this partnership. It's just like another, like you said, it's like a very perfect like addition to their brand. Like they're already very user friendly from the stock side, and now they're listing some of the bigger coins as well. So it would make sense to have a more degen arm that they control. So I could see that happening. I don't know how much it affects really our day-to-day trading, but just interesting note.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought of that. They might. I mean, Robinhood's huge, and since they weren't able to have much success by themselves initially, maybe this is their way of doing it, is by buying out a company that has a good grasp on things. Like that's one of the ways you usually grow in the world, is by buying out companies that do it better than you, and buying out a competitor so they don't leech from you. So yeah, that would make sense actually. Well, we'll see. I mean, that's plausible.
I wanted to shout too, if you guys haven't seen, kind of a little bit off topic but important. If you, the Jupe airdrop is live now. Jupe, obviously Jupiter Exchange, the one of the biggest decks. I think that's probably the biggest decks on Solana. Definitely check that out. I have the links in time sensitive. It's like jupuary.jupe.ag to check your claim. You have to like make a quick email profile to claim, but you can claim on all your wallets, and you don't get like docked or anything for claiming on multiple wallets on one profile. So definitely would make sure to do that and see if there's any pennies under the couch for yourself.
Dex aggregator, right? I think
Yep.
Radium's the biggest Dex on Solana. But Jupiter aggregates like Radium, Orca.
Yeah.
Radium's been crushing.
I'm also
I think
seeing
I'm
in
up like
chat.
8x on Radium over the last few months or something crazy.
Oh, that's sick. I'm also seeing in chat. I guess the anime checker is live. I'm seeing a lot of people talk about how much they're getting. I gotta go check mine soon here. It looks cool. Check it out if you do have some coming your way. So
Yeah.
I'm just
Anything else on shitcoins that you had, Jinzo?
I'm good. I don't have much, honestly. I'm just like we said earlier, and we said multiple times. I'm just waiting to see what comes out or what moves. I know we're gonna start moving again, so I have been placing my chips. But when it comes to new stuff, it's a lot of in and outs for me. I'm not overly bullish on anything I'm seeing, but I do see volume. I go in and I get out. I've been making money. I've honestly haven't lost much. Been making money or break even every single day, so I've been doing okay. But it's just about staying, like I've said often in the past, play small. Don't go too crazy. Try to be, stick to your rules and stuff. But that's it. I'm just trying to stay in my lane and play very conservatively, going where the volume is going, and I'm not really going too crazy on anything new that's coming out right now.
Yeah, I'm very much in the same boat.
I I was wondering, maybe Jake or anyone really, has anyone been keeping up with Build? I have like this AI watch list, and it seems to be underperforming the rest of the AI circuit the last few days.
Yeah, we just had a show with Build yesterday. Ross hosted one if you wanted to listen to it. But yeah, I mean, I'm still very bullish on Build. I think they are. I think they're doing pretty cool. I think we're kind of. It's kind of just like it feels like the market's waiting for some new updates from them. I think they need to dox their devs, which they said they were going to do. It's taken a bit longer, so I think people might be a little wary from that. And then also they're adding Telegram and Discord and maybe one other um, platform as well as part of their integrations for their agents that they can use on. So I think that'll be super helpful. But I think just in general, like the low code, no code type AI agent builder makes like a ton of sense. I think there's like an incredibly huge market for something like that, and from what I've seen so far, they're doing a pretty good job. Um, and it seems like they're very active. They're pretty good at marketing, and they're very responsive in their Discord too. So I just think there's probably people who are wary on the whole like lack of or the whole like anon aspect of it, given all the rugs. But I think as long as they keep shipping and stuff, then they're a bit of a sleeper in my eyes.
This
Nice.
may
Yeah,
be kind of a hard question. Sorry to interrupt, but when you say someone's good at marketing, what do you look for in a project to make you think that it would be good at marketing
They just
these
do
days?
yeah, they just do succinct posts on what their updates are, and they do a lot of spaces as well. He does a lot of different partner spaces. Like they do a weekly space where they kind of just give updates and hear from the community, and then they also do a weekly space on like for builders as well using their platform. So they go through different steps on how to use the platform better and help out everyone who's trying to create agents on their platform. And they also go on like partner spaces, like I said, like the NDHQ one, for instance. But they've done quite a few others.
Cool. Gracias. In general, these days, for just like projects across the space, what do you look for? Anything else you look for as like, oh, this project has good marketing?
Depends, I guess, what meta they're in. It's so different from one to the next. Whereas other metas are more marketable and easier to spread on Twitter and stuff because people grasp or they feel good about them. Where AI, it takes a lot more than that. It's a lot tech focused, and the right people have to get involved in the way where I like people like that, like what they're doing with their project, and they start talking about it too. It's not just directly from them, it's got to be from secondhand also, where people will make threads, and you know what I mean, they'll dig through the information, maybe go on thread guys stream like I think exposure is very important when it comes to AI, because a lot of the people won't dig into the technical side, and as much as one team wants to market, a lot of the times they'll still look like a scammer. So you want smarter people to kind of dig through and give them a vouch. I think that's very important too in AI.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Also, in terms of tokens we've highlighted in the past, it seems like maybe, knocking on wood here, maybe people are done sending Gremlin AI to zero. It's been around 1 million. It had a nice pump recently.
I noticed. I was so
Yeah,
happy about that. I was down 85% on it.
I
yeah,
know
it's a
that
good
I
show.
know like I think the last hiccup I have for this project is like he is making Solana more secure, right? But like, do people care about that? Like they should, but like, is that something you can hype up? And when this AGIXT token that's back at 100 million launched, everyone was like, "This guy has 2,700 GitHub stars. Oh my god!" Well, the Gremlin AI dev has 2,600. Like he's a very, very, very legit dev. So I think it's just like the final thing is like, is his project hypeable? Like
Yeah,
could totally retweet him, you know? Like you don't want to be banking on that, but is it possible? You know, something like that. I don't know.
yeah, it's kind of for it's like it's like a project for devs almost. So it's not it's like I feel like that's harder to market because it's not like a consumer product itself that he's building. But yeah, I mean these kind of things, in my opinion, like I like to just kind of like trust, and ideally like the dev is going to eventually deliver. I mean, he's been consistently providing updates, and it seems like he really cares about the project, and like you said, like he's a very experienced GitHub. So I still like it, and it seems like, I mean, it certainly says it seems like he hasn't stopped building it at all. um I've seen from like a dev, I've seen a dev in the space who works for a notable company like talk about it and say that it's like it would be a really cool use case if it was delivered. I think we're kind of just, it's been a while now, and we're just waiting on a product at this point. So we'll see. Any other projects you guys want to talk about? We're almost at the hour mark here, but we can still chat it up more, or any other strategy.
Check your anime allocation. Even if you don't have Azuki, some people are seeing that they have something coming their way. And yeah, it's launching tomorrow. Make sure you have your eyes on that. I think it's launching pretty early too. I'm seeing KuCoin listed around 11 a.m. Eastern, I think, or 12. I guess it's launching other places before then, but that's definitely something that's going to take a lot of attention tomorrow. And then after that, we have Abstract and HQ also. So keep an eye out. It's going to be a big week.
Sir, get those HQ missions in. Snapshot not taken yet, so launching TG on Monday, baby.
It's going to
But
be
yeah, we can wrap it up.
yeah, it's going to be a
I'll say
fun
we
time,
can
man.
wrap it up.
Let's
Oh
wrap it
yeah.
up. See you guys in chat. Just be careful with your degenning. It's a little bit of a choppy week. Take it easy, and yeah, let's crush it this week. It's going to be a big one.
Yes, sir. Thanks, y'all.
Take care, everybody.
Yeehaw!